I know we've been doing videos about IV vitamin education, but I think this is a really important topic and I have a lot of nurses ask me about it. So we're gonna go into marketing. How do you find your clients? I know we've kind of gone over a video on this, but I'm gonna go more specific into the paid options and the free options because you don't have to be good at social media in order to run a successful business. So we're gonna go over all that. My name's Tiffany. I am a nurse. I own a mobile IV therapy company and I've been doing this I don't know. We've been doing this for over a year now. And so I teach you all the mistakes that I've made and also kind of teach you what I've learned. That way you can be successful in your startup business. So what can you do on the two ways? So we're going to start first with the organic marketing or social media. So what is this? This is all going to be free marketing. There's several things that you can do. There's social media. In social media, there's also a variety of things that you can do. You can do education on social media. You can do giveaways. You can do drawings. You can do promotions. You can do client reviews. You can do referrals. Those are all really good ways to build up your social media. And also a free way. It's slower for sure, but also it's a good way for people to be able to, you can build a following that you can educate. Yes, this does take time and don't get discouraged. That is normal. That is completely normal. You can also do events. Events are a big thing that we did in the summer that we started. So you can do golf tournaments, you can do tennis tournaments, you can do runs, you can do, I'm trying to think of all the things. We did the fair. There's so many different events that you can go set up at a gym on a Saturday morning when they're busy. And all of these, you may or may not be busy at the event, but the purpose of it is to educate and hand out like your flyers and let them know who you are and what you offer. Events a lot of times are really good to do injections because these are very quick and they, especially B12. B12 is a really good one to do like races, and especially if it's like a post race, then yes, hydration is a great thing to do as well. But it's a way to like educate, like, hey, this is what we do. Also in the winter, if you're sick, we can help you with hydration and help your immune system. Here's our stuff, we come to you. It's a lot of networking essentially. And so that is a really good way. I will say golf tournaments might be a little bit different. You probably will do more hydration there because a lot of golfers, depending on what type of golfing event you're going to, they are outside drinking a lot and it's hot outside and it's just the perfect mix to hydrate them after. And so that's a really good one you can do as well. I'm trying to think what else on Freed. I think social media events are a big one. And then, yes, those are going to be your big things that you do. You can always reach out and see if there's any influencers that are in your area. I would caution this because from experience, there's some really good influencers to work with, and then there's also some that will kind of try to take advantage of you and not really provide stuff in a reasonable time. Like you can do an infusion for them, be like, hey, will you make a video or will you make a post? Will you educate? And it's a month or two later and you're like, boo. So just make sure that you are outlining what you are wanting and what you're giving them and also what you're wanting in return if you're going to do that. That can be a good way too. It kind of just depends on, do your research on who you're going to do an influencer exchange for. Another thing that is good to do on that, so the paid aspect is just a lot faster way to grow. So there's kind of a couple different things in it, but most of it is going to be paid advertisements. So your website, and if you need someone, let me know. I can recommend from experience who to use and who not to use. You can have a website built and there's something called SEOs, and the website is not the only thing that determines it, but it's a large part of it. And so websites, what SEOs are, Google sends little, I'm not techie, so I'm going to be explaining this real basic, but essentially Google will send little messengers and they will go through your website, they'll go through the text and they'll try to learn it. And depending on how well it's matched with keywords, that can help play a big role. If your SEOs are very much optimized, that is how people rank higher on Google, without paying. So if someone's going to type in IV therapy near me, you would want to be number 1, 2, or 3 that pops up, because when do you ever search for something and you go to page 5 or 6 and you're like, that one is who I want? So having someone, and I built my website the first year, like I built it myself just to kind of cut cost. And now it's one of those things I'm like, okay, we have the money, we can go ahead and have someone rebuild it. And so we're having someone build it and really optimize those SEOs. What else play a factor into what will rank you higher on Google? Well, Google My Business. This really is just, it's your business profile on Google. Your social media. I guess I was just informed yesterday by our ads guy that Instagram just implemented where they're going to be implemented their like keyword somehow it is correlates the SEOs on Google, which is actually a huge deal. I just can't explain it to you, but that is awesome. That means if you are posting stuff on social media like Mobile IV Therapy or whatever city you're in, or Mobile IV Therapy Tulsa, or whatever, wherever you live, that is going to help, especially if that is linked to your Google. Then it is like kind of matching up and like, oh, they do this, it says it on their website, it says it here. Like it just really helps there. Another thing that you can do to help would be, I just learned, you can have certain people, like our ads guy is going to do this for us, but he is going to list us in, I think he said 80 different directories. And that's just another like factor that helps you be able to be listed in all these places for, when people are looking, you're there. You're not just on Google, you're in Yellow Pages and Yelp and all these other places that you might be like, well, that doesn't matter. Well, if you're covering all your bases, it really just increasing your visibility, and that does make a difference. The next part is going to be ads. Ads can be very helpful. Like you can only run your business off ads and never have to do social media anything. A lot of times there's different ways you can do ads. There's Google ads, and then there is Meta ads, which is essentially Facebook and Instagram. I would highly recommend paying someone who knows what they're doing to do this, because you can find it reasonably priced depending on who you go with, and it can work well for you. I say this because we just kind of went through something, but long story short, there's different ways, and depending on where your location at makes a big difference. So I'm just going to tell you what to look for, and whatever works for your business works best. But let me just give you two different scenarios. You can have someone running your ads who believes in, okay, you need to pay more money in order to get in front of more people, which I understand that. And then the thought is, okay, if I'm getting in front of, I'm just making up a number, 2,000 people, then I'll have, 10 to 20 people reach out. Or there's other people who are better at targeting specific, like instead of just like a vague ad that's like, wellness, whatever, they'll be more specific. That's like, if you're a blah, 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 and you're blah, 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 then we can help. So it's more specific. And especially the way that it's done, a lot of time these people who do ads know like, okay, we need a strong hook. So we need to have you doing this, or you need to say this. That makes a big difference because you're speaking directly to the people that you are wanting who your infusions are going to work best for. And so essentially that way, if it's done correctly, you could spend less, because a lot of times with ads you pay per day. So you could pay, as little as $1 a day, which probably is not gonna be very effective, or up to like, there's literally no limit. You could pay $1,000 a day. That is insane. But you could pay, and it goes per like however much you pay to have it. So I personally, this is me, would you not want it to have a more effective ad, to not spend as much, but it's going to be more interesting and catch people's attention than spending 10 times that amount to reach more people and hope the right people come in? So it kind of depends on where you're located, how you want to do it, your ad spend that you do have. I can tell you, for example, if you're in an area that infusions are just already very popular, then you might not have to be as creative with your ads or do as much education with them, because they're already popular in your area. People know what they are. Where I am at, we have to be more specific and educate, but that is because I live in a location that infusions are becoming more popular and accepted, but more in the acute phase. So people are like, oh, I am sick or dehydrated, something's wrong with me. I could maybe save myself a trip to urgent care or the ER if I get an infusion. That's how they're thought about here. Not like, oh, I could, promote longevity and I can focus on the things to prevent me to get it. Like, they don't think like that. So there's a lot of education here, which is perfectly fine. But I say that because location and the amount of people that you live, like how big your area is, that stuff all makes a big difference. So if you guys need recommendations on someone for ads, you can comment the word social media and I will send you their contact information. But essentially, that is a really good way to grow. So there's two different ways. It kind of depends. Do you do organic? Do you do paid? It really depends on what you want to do. Us personally, I did not want to pay for ads until we have the revenue to do it. And we are at that point. So now here we are. But also there could be someone who started a business the same time we did and could be, way far ahead of us because they chose to do paid ads first. It really boils down to what you want to do. Don't let someone pressure you into what you think you should do, but really, like, what do you do? What do you want to, pay money that you don't have to do this in order to get to that point, or do you want to wait until you have the money? It's literally a personal decision. I am not telling you one way or not to do, but you really just have to plan and see what works best for you and your business. So those are the two options. The best thing, honestly, in my opinion, is to do all of it. I do social media. It kind of just social proof. So when people do click on our ads and they submit a form and I can reach out to them, if you're someone like me, if I submit a form to someone, I'm going to go look at their social media and their website to see, like, how legit are you? Like, what do you do? What do people say about you? And so that is why it's good to have all of them, because it creates more trust, and trust is what you're trying to build in order for them to trust you to do the service. Because unfortunately, there's a lot of shady people out there who just want your money and not to provide a good service. And so they're going to look at that for you. So those are the two avenues. Remember, comment the word social media, and I can send you a social media reference that I have who manages ads and can also build your website as well. So I'm Tiffany. You guys have a great day.